Earlier this year, when Dragon Ball cards all spiked in price, everyone said, "Oh, Phil, it's just a hype phase. They're gonna come down in a few weeks," though these people couldn't have been more wrong. And as you're gonna see in this video, Dragon Ball cards are currently going through some of the most historically huge gains in 2026. And I don't think a TCG has ever seen a boom this strong before. And honestly, if you're thinking about getting into Dragon Ball Fusion World or Dragon Ball Masters right now, I'd honestly say good luck to you, because nearly everything is sold out, and even pre-orders get sold out within a blink of an eye. And it's really funny because when Dragon Ball Fusion World dropped in 2024, the take was pretty much universal between everyone, which was Dragon Ball cards are trash, do not touch them, it's a total waste of money. Fusion World is handled by Bandai, who have extensive experience in creating and distributing TCGs, and also they have some of the best quality control in the world, and you're about to see how insane the market is. All right, let's get into it. Dragon Ball cards. Yes, we are making a video of Dragon Ball. I have to say, honestly, shout out to all the loyal fans here that love the Dragon Ball content. It is hard to get around because Pokemon just has so many things happening. And if there is one question I am getting asked on my channel, it is literally, "Phil, when is your next Dragon Ball video? Phil, when is your next Dragon Ball video?" And honestly, it is here. It is here. And I will definitely continue making them. It is just, like I said, Pokemon is going through its own thing. But we cannot forget about the GOAT anime having a massive boom right now, and it is absolutely insane. Let's look at the manga booster box. Okay, so we can see in January, this was selling for $232 US. Now, if you are unaware, this is the manga booster box that does contain illustrations from Akira Toriyama himself. Very nostalgic release, insane artworks. It has these red alternate art cards as well. They are so cool. It is such a unique set, and of course, prices are reflecting that. We can see that the manga booster box has continued to climb, currently selling for $2,085. That is not a joke, and that is selling consistently at that price point. It is probably the most in-demand Dragon Ball product we've seen in the last 5 years. We are now seeing this crazy boom happen, and of course, the cards inside this set are ridiculously expensive. But then again, what you can pull from this set is also insane. Now, there was another manga booster box, and it's called Manga Booster Box SBO2, and you can see also has been climbing. Was selling for $86 December last year, this booster box. Totally, I mean, that's an easy product to buy. If you want to rip open a few packs, what an easy purchase, right? Well, right now, that's pretty much on a 10 times increase, selling currently for $919. Insane, okay? A lot of people want the cards that can be pulled inside this set. As you're gonna see in the video, I do talk about the Son Gohan card as well. That's very in demand. Really cool sets, man. One thing that I absolutely love about Dragon Ball, and it's where I kind of take a massive appreciation and why I love collecting it. When I collect Pokemon, I usually like to get my cards graded, and I usually buy PSA 10s in Pokemon because the quality control is so horrendous, and nearly every card, some cards have a 35% chance. If you look at like a Magikarp, that's like a 20%, actually under, that's like 18% chance or something to get a PSA 10. With Dragon Ball, nearly every card has over a 90% chance to get returned as a PSA 10. Because the quality control is so good, nearly everyone, or a lot of collectors, do send them to BGS because there is actually a high chance you can get a BGS Black Label. In fact, there was one card in particular I saw that the chance to get returned as a BGS Black Label was around 32%. So just for some context, a lot of Pokemon cards have the chance to be returned 32% as a PSA 10, whereas Dragon Ball cards, some of them have 32% chance to get returned as a Black Label. That is how well the quality control of Dragon Ball cards are, and that is a big reason why I love it, because even if I do buy a card for my binder, I know if one day I want to send it off to get graded, well, I can pretty much be very confident in the results I'm gonna get when they get returned. Pokemon, it is not like that. I've got some cards that get returned. I'm like, how did that get a 6? How did that get a 7? How did that get an 8? Doesn't even make sense, but there's obviously some sort of quality control issues appearing. Though moving on to the Son Goku Super Alternate Art, this is from the manga booster box. Really cool, or the Dinosaur Goku card. Now, Dragon Ball cards are quite unique because a lot of it matters on the stars in the corner. This actually has 2 stars on the bottom corner, indicating it is one of the Super Alternate Arts. Was selling in April for $535 US. Right now, this card is selling for $4,000. And of course, it's very hard to see how these are gonna now start dropping when you've got the set, which I just showed you, the Manga Booster Box 01, selling for, what is it, like $2,000 pretty much straight away. And of course, this is such a rare pull from that set as well. I don't know, man. Right now, it is just like I don't see reprints for those happening. It is so in demand. Pretty much everyone who started collecting Dragon Ball wants that. It's like the holy grail right now for Fusion World. And if you do want, at the end of the video, I will link you to another video of mine where I explain the difference between Dragon Ball Fusion World and Dragon Ball Masters. But nonetheless, Fusion World is this new TCG that came out in 2024. Still very new, still very fresh, but so many people are into it now. And I'm not surprised why Dragon Ball is climbing. Like I did make that video in early 2024, and I do reference it a lot. To me, when people are like, oh, are you like Phil, is this something that you didn't expect? No, I actually cannot believe it took as long as it did for Dragon Ball to get in the limelight, considering that like, it is one of the GOAT franchises. Also, I wanted to say, if you have been loving the video, my name's Phil and I create content around Pokemon cards, and also I do a few Dragon Ball videos here and there. Honestly, I'd love to have you subscribe so you can stay up to date with everything around Pokemon and Dragon Ball and all things collectible. Moving on to the Sun Gohan Youth, which was selling for $17 last year, went all the way up to $196, fell down to $150, but right now selling for $186. Really cool alt art from Raging Raw. Great set. Honestly, the Fusion World sets, especially those early ones, they are unique. Though the thing is, with the Fusion World sets, if you do want to buy them, dude, it is so hard. I'm struggling really buying them at the moment because even pre-orders get sold out immediately. Like, it is so hard to secure Fusion World at the moment. It is just, and a lot of people are entering as well. And I don't think the production can keep up with the huge demand of collectors entering Dragon Ball right now. It is getting a massive influx. But a lot of people are saying, oh, everyone is moving from Pokemon to Dragon Ball. Well, to be honest, in my opinion, I think the Dragon Ball market right now is way more cooked in a lot of ways than Pokemon. In fact, it's much harder to get product, as you can see with the latest set, Cross-Force. So I'm just on eBay and I'm looking at Cross-Force. This just released like literally, like a few days ago, like a week ago pretty much. And you can see, selling for $260 a booster box. And there's only 24 packs inside as well. You need to remember, it's not like Pokemon that has 36 packs. So there you go, another buy it now for $300. You can see another one here for $289. So it is so in demand that a brand new set is selling for that. And again, you do get less packs inside. So of course, the chase cards of a lot of these sets also get quite high prices. So moving on also to the booster box, Wish for Shenron was selling for $70 US, right now selling for $335. Massive gains as well. If you did buy a few of those at $70 US, you are laughing right now. And honestly, with how it's going, like the Fusion World is really increasing. Don't forget the chase card of this Wish for Shenron is the Goku GT sleeping on Shenron. Really sick artwork as well, man. And there's obviously a lot of demand there. Just on the Sun Goku GT as well, was selling for $59. Then it went all the way up to $675. Right now selling for $645. So it has stayed pretty stable, but after such a massive increase, you can see that the market is actually staying quite resilient. It's not just dropping right now, and prices are, there's pockets of Fusion World that are going up enormously, and then there's pockets that are kind of staying stabilized. This Sun Goku GT right now, it's definitely a cool artwork. I'm interested to see the future, but you got to remember the amount that's out there, it's much less than Pokemon numbers, and it is a little bit, if a lot of people start collecting Dragon Ball right now, it is going to be a little bit hard for a lot of these to just drop in price, considering how many people have nostalgic memories as well there. Now, moving on to FB09 Dual Evolution, which is such a sick set, man. But we can see that this is pretty much a very new set. Pre-order prices were selling for $150, went all the way up to $379. Currently selling for $436 a booster box. This is the set before Cross-Force, which just released a few months back. There you go. You can really see the insane demand for Fusion World brand new booster boxes. Like I said, if you are thinking about getting into Dragon Ball TCG or like Fusion World or Masters, you do need to do your research. It is not an easy area to just be collecting at the moment, because as well, one cool thing though, and like I said, which I mentioned earlier in the video, at least if you do buy these, or if you do buy the singles of Dragon Ball, you do know if you do eventually, whether it's now or in a few years, get them sent to get graded, as long as you keep them very protected and stuff, you do have good chances to be returned PSA 10, or as well, if you send it to BGS, to get a BGS 10 or even a black label. That is the selling point, or the reason why so many people love Dragon Ball. I have to admit though, as Fusion World is going further in its life, and we're now reaching FB 10, and we're about to get FB 11 in a few months, we can see that the artworks have gone through a massive level up. I'm really liking Dual Evolution, and I'm gonna just show you, you can see some of the artworks in there right now. From here, the Gogeta Super Alternate Art, then as well, you got Goku, and you can really see they just look pretty cool, and they've done a big level up. I really like this Gogeta artwork here, the alternate art, but you can see they're all getting also pretty high prices, from $207, $159, $129, and that's not even the most expensive. Usually when you look at the Super Alt Arts, as you can see, they're all selling for like over $1,000, over $1,500. The chance to pull them are ridiculously rare. They are very, very rare cards, so I would not go in the expectation, if you do buy a booster box, that you're gonna pull one of these. Obviously, a lot of people want them. They're very in demand, but they're in demand because they are so extraordinarily difficult to pull that Pokemon doesn't even really see rarities as difficult as we see with these Super Alt Arts, or in Masters, they're known as God Rares. Though, for some context, the reason Dragon Ball cards spiked earlier in 2026, and they've continued to get a lot of momentum, is because Dragon Ball Super is returning. It's essentially getting a whole remake, and the Mora arc is also being animated after a huge 8-year hiatus. And what's really interesting is that we've never experienced a TCG boom while Dragon Ball is actually running. The whole TCG boom that we've had, Dragon Ball was on a hiatus, so this is actually new waters for a lot of people. Now, moving on to the Son Gohan Childhood from the Manga Booster Box 02, was selling for $440, was always a very expensive chase card, but right now it is selling for $1,800. And of course, you can imagine it is from a very iconic scene, the father-son Kamehameha from the Cell Saga. So there is so much history here. A lot of people are so nostalgic for these cards as well. There is a market there as well, but I imagine, is Dragon Ball going to grow? The whole thing that a lot of people were saying, it's a trash set, it's Dragon Ball, who's collecting that? There is way too much nostalgia there. Even when you look at Sparking Zero, that pretty much became one of the best-selling PS5 games when it released, because Dragon Ball fans are just built different. Even with this channel, like I said, man, like there's so many people saying, Phil, can you make Dragon Ball content? It's not that I don't want to, believe me, I'm such a big collector of Dragon Ball. It's just that Pokemon takes up so much of my resources and time. Plus I have my other channel where I talk about gaming content on Philip's Trick Room, so it gets a little bit hard. But I also had my daughter, so she came up to me and she's like, Dad, Dad, you got 100,000 subscribers and we haven't opened a set of Pokemon cards or a set of anything for such a long time. And then she's like, Dad, I want to open some cards with you. And I'm like, you know what? It's pretty fair enough, because like for the last few years, I have really stopped opening product. And then I said, you know what? I'm going to buy us some Dragon Ball cards to open. So I bought FB04 Ultra Limit, which is probably one of the cheaper booster boxes you can get in Fusion World. Still pretty affordable in comparison to the market. And we opened 2 booster boxes of that. No joke. Okay. Real talk. She pulled from 2 booster boxes, 2 secret rare Gokus, the top chase cards, or well, that's actually the second top chase in the set, but she pulled both of them from 2 booster boxes. That's beginner luck for my daughter. She was wrapped, man. She just couldn't believe it. So we are completing the Ultra Limit Master set at the moment. Though interestingly, I want to talk about the Manga Booster Box 01, because that is the big kind of prized possession right now for Dragon Ball. Here I'm just on these cards and you can see how sick they are. Obviously you can see the top chase card selling for around 5,000 US, which is the Goku Super Alt Art. And as you go down, one thing I really love is right there you can see these red alternate art cards. They are so well designed, man. These are some of my favorite cards. I actually don't own any of these because they're so expensive and I just haven't really bit the bullet to buy any of them. I'd love to, but I can also see my time is kind of running out because the Manga Booster Box is very expensive. The amount that would have been opened and the amount of people that are opening that set right now would be very rare. In fact, I don't think many people, if they own a Manga Booster Box 01, they're not going to be opening it. It's $2,000 a booster box US. The chance to even see some of these red alternate arts, which I want in my collection, is getting slimmer and slimmer, but I've kind of made my peace with it as well, because it's like, all right, maybe I can't get it. Maybe next time or another time in the future, I'll consider getting these. I remember when it released and I saw it, I was like, wow, this is cool. And then I remember for months, no one even cared about it. It was like just dropping in price. And now we can see, wow, okay, so people all are woken up to it. And I'm kind of looking at it like, I knew that. I had that feeling. I had the intuition. And of course, we know the gold energy markers. They're also very cool. I mean, there's so much like cool things about Dragon Ball collecting when you learn it. It is a pretty interesting TCG to start learning because it does take time to learn. It is very different, but of course, it does have some of the most fun opening experience I've ever had. And if you do love master sets, there's also a lot of players for the actual game. So it is not too bad. Definitely a TCG I love collecting, but then again, can I recommend getting into it? Right now, it is the most expensive time to start collecting Dragon Ball cards in history. So yeah, I mean, if you do want to start collecting it, it is a fun TCG, but just remember that the prices of the cards are quite high as well, especially if you want to open new sealed product. Though after seeing all of this, if you are considering to begin collecting Dragon Ball cards, I know it does feel like there's a lot to take in, but believe me, it's actually not that hard to understand. And if you do want to start collecting, you can watch this video on screen here. In this video, I explain how to start collecting Dragon Ball cards in 2026. I explain the difference between Dragon Ball Fusion World and Dragon Ball Masters. You can learn all about it there. I really appreciate you watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and honestly, I'll see you on that next video.